And the shark would not let go, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened?
So it died attached to her arm. She went to the hospital and went to the hospital with the shark.
They had to keep the shark on her arm, and then they had to kind of pry open the jaw, must be, to get it off her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This was a little shark, though.
Yes, relatively little. It was like 2 feet long.
Okay, so that's large.
And I think a lot of
a little.
a lot. I guess when you're being bitten by the shark, it's large.
It's all relative.
But I think what a lot of people don't know too is like they'll see a shark that's dead on the side of the water, you know, on the shoreline. The shark can still, like, its jaws are still activated. It could still bite you.
Like a nerve reaction. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Even though it's dead.
Yeah.
Does that make?
And the injury is still the same.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. How about the little kid that was that picked up the snake, and it was look at that. That's a pretty good sized shark.
It almost looks like a hand puppet, right?
Yeah.
Right.
How about the little boy that picked up the snake, and the snake kept biting, little bites. Remember that story?
Yeah.
And it was a baby rattlesnake, and the kid died.
There were a bunch of them. He was fishing.
Yeah.
And thought that it was bait, and he ran. Finally, he left and said, you know, these little worms were biting me, and they realized that they weren't worms, that they were snakes. Rushed him to the hospital, and he died. Because
apparently there's still a very venomous bite there, and several bites.
Right.
That was okay. What do you think? Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame moving to New York City.
I couldn't see that happening. Boy, that would be crippling, wouldn't it?
This is Hardball Times, a baseball website, and the reporter's name is Nathaniel Rakich, R-A-K-I-C-H. Anyway, he says, I have never been to the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Why? Because it is prohibitively difficult to get there. Cooperstown is a tiny village in upstate New York, 240 miles west of my hometown of Boston. It's a 200-mile, 4-hour drive north of New York City without traffic. It's not on an interstate highway. The nearest commercial airport, Albany International, not exactly a major hub, is itself 70 miles away. Few people find a reason to be in the area because, frankly, there isn't a lot else there. In 2010, Cooperstown had only 1,852 residents. The population of its surrounding county is just 60,636. And keeping with upstate demographic trends, it's getting smaller every year. The Hall of Fame is doing a disservice to fans by housing the most important artifacts of our national sport in a place where so few people can get there to see them.
What parochial snobbery.
Yeah, what a jerk. What a jerk. Good point, Chris.
Well said. I think that
everything has to be in New York City or it's no good.
Yeah.
Is he kidding?
Yeah,
really,
I know.
we need to get him on.
I'm surprised he didn't want to move it to Boston.
That's
He's
true.
from Boston.
Well, he's probably moving to New York City after writing this article. So
Doesn't
he's
that
living in New York City now.
play into the nostalgia and the theme, the setting of baseball? You know,
It says Cooperstown is what baseball once was. New York City represents what it has become.
it's prohibitively
ridiculous.
difficult to get to. Are we kidding?
Yeah. Well, he's also promoting that we that we move the Grand Canyon to New York City and a few other. Come on,
The Eiffel Tower while you're
Yeah.
at it. Come on.
yeah, just stupid, but certainly making some noise. You know that there's no chance that it's ever going to happen, right? Never going to happen. Let's see. Michael Strahan had his last day on live. The New York Daily News put out a story about how we're so going to miss Michael Strahan on this show. He's not been on there that long, has he?
He's been like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
I think.
and how long is that? It's not like David Letterman was on for years, or Johnny Carson, or even Regis. It was Regis and Kathy Lee, and then Regis and what's-her-face. I mean,
She's getting
Regis,
younger
that
every
was a
day.
big deal. That was a big deal. But Michael Strahan leaving? Please. But this was kind of interesting to watch because, we forgot to tell Kelly that Michael was leaving, right? I mean, there's something to this. And they say they don't get along and all these rumors going on. It's probably really good for ratings because on Friday he had his final goodbye. And I'm going to play it for you right now.
I didn't know what to expect coming from sports to daytime television. And you guys open up your hearts to me, and you open up your homes to me, and it's been so overwhelming with the response that we've had over the last 4 years that you guys have loved this show. And it means the world that you give us an hour of your day. And what you don't realize, we get more from that hour than you really do. And we sit in front of a live audience who I always say during our commercial breaks, they are the third co-host of the show.
I'm sorry, how do these people, I don't care if they're sports guys, how do they get on TV and on radio with a lisp? I don't understand it.
Yeah. Well,
That's
yeah,
okay.
It's a good
I just
question.
don't get it.
Well, I think his
didn't think
celebrity
he belonged on there at all. I didn't think it was good. Not that I'm a big fan of the show, but sometimes I get into my office and start working away, and that show is on, and it just looked like a fish out of water. But apparently, he's going to be greatly missed.
His celebrity clearly outweighs his speech impediment, especially in New York City. But the other thing is, talking about the popularity of the show. What?
Yeah, just that statement alone I find humorous. But okay, that's all right.
Well, I think it does. There weren't a lot of interviews and segments that came out of it and made national news, right?
No.
When it was Regis and Kelly, you'd hear I don't know, Celebrity X was on talking about. They don't have big stories coming out of that.
When Regis questioned Kathy Lee's naming of her kid, that made news. I mean, it was like everything was making news out of that stupid show. But, whatever. Here's Tom in Little Falls.
Hi. That guy from Boston complaining about getting to Cooperstown. Now, he's missing an opportunity. He can make a whole trip of it.
Mm-hmm.
He gets on I-90, gets off in Springfield, goes to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Good point.
Gets back on, goes to Cooperstown, goes to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Then he comes up 28 and into Utica, goes to the Distance Running Hall of Fame, gets back on the Thruway, goes to Canastota to the Boxing Hall of Fame. Right?
Yeah,
you can make
you're right.
Make a trip of it.
And I think the Soccer Hall of Fame is closed in Oneonta, right? It's no longer?
I don't think it's there, but,
Well, you can get some chicken. Oneonta is known for that barbecue, right?
Yeah, Brooks Barbecue
Brooks
is
Barbecue.
there.
Well, there you go. And then if the base, what a time he would have.
And just a ride through the Catskill Mountains on all these scenic roads. The guy is just a complainer. Hey, guy, wake up, huh?
Not to mention that this is supposedly the birthplace of baseball. It does play a reason. There's a reason why it's there, right?
Yeah. What?
Right.
I forget to get. Doubleday.
Abner Doubleday.
His name, Abner Doubleday.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, Tom. Good stuff. Thanks.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. What else do I have? Some things I want to get in here before we leave because this won't be good tomorrow. Simpsons. What was this Homer Goes Live thing? I saw that promoted heavily.
It was a show, and then there was a live question and answer session at the end. And I believe Homer was, I don't know, was he running for office? He was doing something where he was answering questions.
Homer went live and said the show would never end. Listen.
Hello. I've gathered you here because I have an important announcement. This is the last episode of The Simpsons. It's been a great run. Just kidding. The Simpsons will never end. Now I've told you 2 lies. And to prove that we're live, on Saturday Night Live, last night, Drake was terrible.
That's very funny. Huge fight last night in Major League Baseball. His name is Rougned Odor. And he threw a punch, went after Jose Batista, and it was quite a hootenanny. It was a big one.
So supposedly, and we talked about this on the show, last year in the playoffs, Jose Batista had a very dramatic bat flip when he hit a home run, as I said, in the playoffs, and they were taking on Texas. And supposedly, he got dinged, he got hit just before this, and that was retaliation. And he said it was cowardly that they waited until his last at bat in the 7th game they played this season to go after him. Anyway, he goes hard into second base, takes out the second baseman. He didn't like it. They started mouthing off, and Odor caught him really with a nice shot to the face. That was a boxing knockout, possibly.
A guy in California saved this. This is Big Jerk of the Day. I always like to have my Big Jerk of the Day story, and we could call it so many other things, but I've decided to go with the title Big Jerk of the Day. Just think of the titles we could have. The beep, beep, beep of the day and the beep, beep of the day. There'd be so many. Anyway, guy in California saved a driver from a burning car last week. And now, how could this be the biggest jerk of the day? Do you know what he did?
Do not tell me that based on someone's bumper sticker, he threw them back into the burning car.
No.
No, okay.
That's right. Sorry, you
my
support
gosh.
Bernie Sanders. You're back in the car. No. In this case, anybody else want to guess on this? What did this guy do that makes him the big jerk of the day?
Did he rescue someone and then maybe pocket their wallet and money?
No. Come
Valuables?
on, modern times. Think modern times. Think modern times. What happens at every car accident today, at every disturbance, at everything that goes on in the world?
He recorded it?
He recorded it. So he waited to rescue the guy while he set up his camera and make sure it was placed in the perfect spot
Oh my gosh, that's that movie.
before he rescued the guy.
What's that movie?
I don't know.
Nightcrawler.
After he took the time to set up his camera, make sure that it was in the right spot and focus so that he would be in the shot, he then went on to save the person. And here is audio. His name is Santiago Portillo. And he said he didn't know where... he didn't know there was someone in the car when he set up the camera. Cops think the driver crashed because he was street racing. We've had to beep out some profanity here. Listen. This is him setting up his camera. Okay, then he goes and saves him. Now, here he is talking about rescuing the driver from the burning car.
I had to save him. I saw the big explosion. I saw the fire, and I was not going to see a human get burnt. He's alive. He's alive. We're happy he's alive. I know that he might not have been alive if I wasn't there. I'd do it all over again for my daughters.
He'd do it all over again. And, by the way, he has the whole thing on tape.
Oh my gosh,
He's
that's
able to see the whole thing.
the movie was Nightcrawler with the cameraman who went. It's very disturbing.
But you think about this, it could have been, the car could have exploded for the 10, 15 seconds it took for him to set up his camera so that he'd have it to maybe let it go viral. And sure enough, that's what's happened.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I know.
Oh, Manasseh.
No, listen.
You
Would-
choose
wrong
the worst
story.
stories for
I
devil's
know.
advocate.
Well, let me ask you this. Would we say if someone was drowning and then someone witnessed it and they stopped to take their clothes and shoes off before they jumped in to save them,
Different.
would we say that,
Look,
come on, what does it matter if your shoes get dirty?
Can I ask you, are you saying this with a straight face? Are you really?
If it was only 10 to 15 seconds, it's not that bad. But I guess it's the thought that counts. Yeah, no, I'm
Nasty.
sorry.
Even Andrew's
I'm
sitting in the
sorry.
other room with his eyes closed like, oh, my God. he's
As a
doing this
reporter,
one.
if you're filming something, if you're taping something, and you're on a live shot, and someone is ready to
No,
die
don't talk
behind
him,
you,
Don't talk him out of it. I love it when he does this.
No, you guys are right. You're right. I was
you
making an
abandon
attempt
the broadcast
here.
and save the person.
Oh,
Yes.
Lordy. Here's Christine with an update. 8:51. Good morning, Christine.